Hey, welcome back. In this story, we're going to talk about Nightmare Cafeteria. It was from season 6 of the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror series. And the one thing that you notice immediately from Merkin's Halloween stories is that they really want to scare you. They really want to scare the shit out of you. I think that's great because it shows that as much as Merkin wanted to make people laugh, he also wanted to horrify people. And I mean that in a good way. That's why his Halloween stories really stand out for that very reason. And this one, proves that case as the storyline focuses on cannibalism. Not just any cannibalism. Cannibalism done by teachers as they eat their own students. With the students not even knowing that their peers are gone until after they eat them. I know it sounds gruesome. It sounds tasteless. But they do it very, very funny. They do a kick-ass job of doing it. That's why it's one of the best segments in the series, in my opinion. And it all comes about as a freak accident. Turns out Principal Skinner likes the taste of Jimbo Fisher after some food got on him. So in the middle of the night, Skinner kills Jimbo and makes a burger out of him and serves it to his fellow teachers in the teacher's lounge. And all the teachers love it, especially Edna. And Edna's like, this is so delicious, how do you make this? And once Skinner reveals that it was made from Jimbo, Edna's like, you mean to tell me that you made this burger out of Jimbo? And they're like, oh well. And from that point on, all the teachers form a secret conspiracy to kill the students and make food out of them. And as the story progresses, the teachers become even more scarier as they become fatter, and more devious as they become even more ruthless cannibals. And there's this really funny bit in which there's this sick kid who is in the classroom. He drops a pencil and Edna notices it. And I feel bad for that kid because I like to make the joke that that's me because whenever he gets sick, that's me. I always get a kick from that. But anyway, he drops a pencil and Edna's like, detention. Then you see that poor kid going to the slaughterhouse because he's going to be made to be eaten by the teachers. And those are among the many jokes that come from that storyline. Another great joke is whenever the teachers make food out of the students, they celebrate that fact by having like a event to mark the occasion. When a German student gets owned, they then make a German food festival where they have sausages and German type food everywhere. And it's even more disturbing is that the students don't even know that they're eating him or their peers until it's too late. And that's where Bart and Lisa come in. They know something's fishy because they realize their friends are missing as this new food is coming out of the blue. They ask for their mom for help, but Marge says, no, I'm tired of doing all of your fights. You should, do your own fights. And that was super funny because this was the Simpsons commenting on themselves again because, yeah, of course Marge, she always, fights for Bart and Lisa's case, but this is the one time she doesn't do it because it has to do, with one of the worst things ever, cannibalism. And also it goes to show how Bart and Lisa pretty much do everything on their own. From Sideshow Bob to Itchy and Scratchy. They pretty much have a duo thing, like a Batman and Robin thing happening. So they're on the case. They want to see what's happening. Another funny bit that comes from this episode is with Groundskeeper Willie. In this episode, he served as the Kenny for this particular special. For those that don't remember, Kenny in South Park was always killed in each episode, and then at some point they dropped it after the South Park film, I believe. In this case, Groundskeeper Willie was killed in each segment of this episode. In the third segment, he was killed. So it's nice to see them doing that recurring theme and, being consistent with that. But you have to feel bad for Groundskeeper Willie that he kept getting owned. But I digress again. It all goes to this exciting climax where Bart, Lisa, and Milhouse, they all team up to try and get to the bottom of this, and they're all trapped. And what stands beneath them is a really scary death, death by fans pretty much, really sharp fans. And they're like, they can't kill kids off on the show. And then Milhouse falls to his gruesome death, and it's done really gruesome because the camera then moves from the perspective of the fans, so we see Milhouse falling towards us and quickly cut away before, we see, the blood and gore. And then Bart's like, well, nothing bad can happen to the Simpsons children. And that goes to Darren Merkin's humor. He likes to do that type of surreal humor, that type of commentary on how the show works. And just as we think Bart and Lisa are going to get owned, like what happened to poor Milhouse, Bart wakes up. Turns out it was all just a terrible dream. And what makes it funny is how they do it, because it's like, what? Not another dream sequence? Because dream sequences are the most cliche things in horror films. I think back to Jaws 4. That is one of the worst films I've ever seen. The main character has these seizures of dreams in which she thinks she's being eaten by a shark only to wake up. It's like, lame. But anyway, they think everything's going fine. And then this leads to one of the most disturbing endings in all of Simpsons Halloween history. A toxic gas seeps into the room, in which they all breathe in, and then there's all their skins peel away. They become inside out. It's so gruesome to watch. I actually get goosebumps just watching, because visually it's just disturbing how it's animated. So it's really just all their muscles and bones, and they're like in agony on the floor, and then after an awkward pause, they get up, and then they strangely sing the song One from the famous Broadway musical A Chorus Line. And then from that point on, they fix the lyrics so it reflects the Simpsons Halloween special, and as they dance, like little droplets of blood comes out. It's like really weird. It's really disturbing, to say the least. But somehow they make it appealable. They don't make it too grotesque, and that's what makes it work. They found that balance, and that's why, in my opinion, the ending works so well, because it's so out there, it's so weird, it's so disturbing, yeah, it's so funny, and visually appealing even. So that's why that ending has always stood out, because it was so out there. And just the whole storyline too. It's one of the funniest, not to mention one of the most disturbing segments in all of Simpsons Halloween. That's it for now. Tune in next time for the next story. Until then, see you later.